Okay, for those of you who are still maybe a little unsure of exactly what IPI is, which is Instructional Practices Inventory, or if you're new to the district and you've never heard of IPI before, I wanted to kind of send this out before we wind up doing IPI walkthroughs. We do 4 a year, so before that starts, I want to make sure everybody's comfortable with what we are looking for, those of us who are trained in doing IPI observations, what we're looking for when we enter your room. First of all, we really are not looking at what you are doing for the most part. We're looking to see how the students are engaged. So let's take a look at this. This is really very similar to the sheet that we walk around with. I want to start at the bottom of the sheet. So we are just looking to see how the students are engaged when we enter the room. What we don't want to see are ones and twos. Okay, a 1 is complete disengagement. That means that you might be on your computer shopping at Target and the kids are on their computers watching YouTube videos not related to class, or they're doing online shopping and things like that. Everyone's disengaged. Number 2 is student is working, but you're not engaged. So what that could look like, oh sorry, my nose itches. What that could look like is we walk in the room and the students are working on something that you've given them. It could be a worksheet, it could be doing book work, it could be taking a test, but you aren't really doing anything. You are sitting at your desk, you're shopping at Target online, things like that. Then if we go up to numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6, what I want you to understand when we start looking at these numbers is these are numbers do not indicate a hierarchy. One number is not better than the other. They just indicate different types of student engagement and different levels of thinking that are going on. All of these are critical to the school environment. You're always going to see 3s in the classrooms. You're always going to see 4s, and hopefully you're going to see 5s, and hopefully you're going to see 6s. These are never going to go away. They are necessary parts of instruction. However, what we want to shoot toward is seeing more 5s and seeing more 6s. Because when we have more 5s and 6s, it means that the students are more actively engaged. So if we look at number 3 and number 4, number 3 is student work with teacher engaged. Now, with the student work, it could be something like a worksheet. It could be a test, but it's really a test over things that are more review. These are things that don't require higher order thinking that the students are doing, and the teacher is engaged in walking around and helping the students while this is going on. Teacher-led instruction. This is essentially you're standing up in front of the kids, you're giving a lecture, you're leading instruction during a video, where you stop the video to ask questions. That's a 4. So it's when you're leading instruction. When we get to the higher order thinking, this is more of 5s and 6s. So 5, students are engaged in active conversations with each other. So they are having to figure out things together through conversations. Number 6 is students are engaged in higher order thinking. Common examples include authentic project work, hands-on learning, problem-based learning. This is when students are more learning themselves by themselves. It's higher order thinking, but it's happening more individually. 5s is when it's happening more together. It's really important that we increase these 5s and 6s, but once again, it's really not a hierarchy because these things are not going to go away. If we see a 3 and a 4, that's not bad. That's just part of instructing. What you really don't want to see, however, is a 1 and a 2. One other thing I want to point out is it does not matter necessarily, okay, let me reword this. If I walk in the room, I take a snapshot of what the teacher is doing at that moment. So if you are leading instruction when I walk in, that is a 4. It's a snapshot. So it's the first thing I see when I walk in. If I don't know what I see when I walk in, I'll investigate and try to figure out what I was seeing. But if I see teacher-led instruction, that's a 4. Now, if while I'm in the room, you change from teacher-led instruction to student learning conversations, I'm going to mark it as what it was when I first walked in the room, which is a 4. Okay, that's it. I'm going to put some more information on the blog, but if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Goodbye.